Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and I am back with more Mutant Crawl Classics adventures. This time it's the Museum at the End of Time. This was featured in the 2016 Free RPG Day release by Goodman Games. It might be a little difficult to get a hold of, but I've actually found this PDF on the Goodman Games website, and I'll have a link down in the description and a pinned comment if you want to go pick this up for free. It's available on their website, so go for it. It's a small adventure. It was supposed to be made, it was made just for like a convention type game or introduction to the MCC RPG, and it's by Jim Wampler. It says it's a level 1 adventure, but it's actually a level 0 character funnel. But yeah, you could probably still play this with first level characters as well. So I'll be spoiling, of course. Great piece of art right here by Stefan Pogue, and it's going to be something you're going to obviously show to your players whenever they encounter what that's all about. So let's go ahead and go into it. So this is going to be a normal rite of passage type adventure. Your secret team is going out. They're kind of pushing the limit a little bit and going to the Glow Desert. They want to find something really good, something back from the ancients that's a really nice piece of technology. So they kind of push it, and they go to the Glow Desert. And it's pretty neat. It's got a cool look to it. There's windblown blast glass here and there. It looks a little strange. It's a radioactive wasteland. It's got like blue-white sand dunes. And it does do damage to you. It does 1 hit point of radiation damage. That could actually kill 0-level characters, but should they rest, they'll heal that hit point back. So it's for every 24 hours. It's kind of neat. Just a neat little feature to it. And then you've got 2 encounters here. You got like a daytime encounter and a nighttime encounter. It's a 2-day trek until you get to the museum, and the first is going to be this serpent. It's kind of like a glass serpent. It's a huge, almost kind of like it's not as big as like a worm from Dune or something, but it's going to go through the ground. It's a nasty encounter. This thing will kill you, and this is a first kind of lesson for the players to head for high ground, for rocky terrain, and try to run away from this thing. So it won't completely destroy you, because this thing will just chomp you and just eat you completely whole. So much like this guy's getting it pretty bad, so he's looking rough. Cool piece of art right there, of course, as well. And then the next encounter here is a nighttime encounter for it's screamers. They are animated corpses, and they have a fungus that's in them, and it's kind of a neat visual type thing. They kind of glow, and there's a constant airflow through their empty chests and back out of their vocal cords, so it makes them kind of make this noise, a screaming noise. And they're just a neat creature to fight, but they do radiation damage, so that's rough. You can use a weapon on it, but your weapon will actually cause now radiation damage, so you can use that to your benefit, but you need to watch out when you're holding it. Could do radiation damage to you should you touch it. Then there's a couple additional little glow in desert encounters here. Some blast glass that you find as you find these shards of glass. There's a glow storm that shows up, really violent, and it's going to last for a couple of hours. And then you're going to make it to the museum at the end of time. And this is going to be a fairly small dungeon crawl. Let's go to the map. That's going to help you see right here. And so you're going to have a museum. And it's very neat to be able to, once the players realize that their characters are in a museum. And there is a kind of like a pyramid of glass. Of course, the characters won't know that. They'll see it kind of from afar, and it'll get them to go there in this desert. And they're going to go down probably a rope. They'll figure out that they need to get, because they'll have some rope on with them, that they need to attach to the top and then go down this hole that they found where one of the pieces of glass has been removed. And as they go down, it'll be dark, and they'll see this big T-Rex skeleton there. And this will be a cool piece of art to show them and to describe to them, because they're not going to really understand it. They may think it's an enemy they need to fight. And they'll be in the atrium. And there's going to be two dinosaur fossilized fossils right there. There's some doors here and there. They're going to lead off to other places. There is some dust everywhere. They can see, of course, from above, and they're going to start exploring these doors. And there's going to be a security guard here. He's got a gun. These 2 doors can't be opened up, or sand will just flow into them. So they're stuck in essence, but players may try to go through there. And so the rest of the adventure is going to be exploring. Okay, you're going to be exploring some of these rooms. There will be some AI recognition attempts with some of the doors, and that'll be bypassed, of course, if you get a comm badge. That'll help you those doors to open up, and you'll find that on that dead security guard. He's been there for thousands of years, but hopefully that pistol will be something they can interact with as well. and it's going to be all well and good. Now, there is some of these security bots, these bots that fly around, and they're going to also interact with this curator hologram. It's kind of like something that came to life and tells you about the museum. It's, of course, 1,000 years old, and now it's gone quite insane, and that's pretty normal for these things. It's got a hollow flail, and it's going to pretty much try to get you out of this place. The museum is closed. The security bots are going to try to grab you and take you back up the hole. Curator's going to try to bash you with his hollow flail. So it's going to be a cool interaction right there. But right off the bat, you're going to have some good combat. And then you're going to get to the holographic history gallery. That's going to be in area A2. And this is going to be a really fun room. It's going to be probably one of the best rooms in the whole adventure. Okay, as you get right here to this area A2, because each one of these, it says A through F, each one of these are going to be these portals, and it's going to be like a shimmering light type thing, and when you go through it, you're going to go into like a completely different world, or a time of man. Like the first is the dawn of man, lost Lemuria, ancient pyramid builders. You've got the Eternal Ones, Medieval Period, and Age of Wonders. And what's happening is they're illusions, in essence. They're holograms, illusions of these things happening. Like the first one is primitive man-ape struggle for survival on a barren, grassy savanna. And it's going to kind of confuse your players and their characters. One man-ape throws a large bone up in the air in celebration of a recent kill. Of course, we know what that's from, and that's from 2001: A Space Odyssey. So there's some cool kind of throwback things to it. You'll see in this one, the Lost Lemuria, you'll see an ancient civilization of mutants scatter and flee as a tidal wave swamps their futuristic city. So you'll see these things in action, and you can go in there and you can get lost, unfortunately, in these holograms. And like you'll have the ancient pyramid builders showing thousands of slaves constructing the pyramids. So it's going to be neat to go through this. The world of wonders is interesting. The world of ancient ones is depicted at its height. Pure string humans, some with cybernetic enhancements, are shown leading semi-intelligent animals around on leashes in a vast technological cityscape, alluding to what's going to happen in the future. Now there are some beast things. Okay, they're throughout this area. They're blue-skinned, kind of devolved, semi-devolved humans with snow white body hair. They've got a champion and a beast thing. They're going to be in there, and they're going to try to attack you. They've got the beast thing champion's actually got a small wicker cage strapped to his back. It's got all these rodents in it, and one of the rodents is got some mental powers. It's actually kind of psychic, so that's kind of interesting. And then, so you're going to probably fight with these things. You'll get some gear and stuff off them. Little Shop of Horrors is fun. It's a gift shop. And you've got some changelings that have taken over some of the animals, the stuffed animal toys that's in there. But it's going to be fun to be able to describe these things that are on the shelf and what they look like. And your players might think, their characters might think that they're actually a creature, but they're not moving. When they go to touch it, it's going to be one of these changelings. It's pretty much a critter. It's a mouth that's going to try to eat you. So it's going to be a fun encounter right there. Now the Zero-G experience is kind of odd. You're going to find some enviro belts, bubble helmets that are actually pretty cool, and you're going to be able to float around. And it shows you right here this room. It's got a circular room. If you don't have them, whenever the gravity happens, it could destroy you pretty much. So you have to have the enviro belt and the bubble helmet, because it's going to pretty much create the vacuum of space. It's just a neat technology to interact with that may be dangerous to you. And then you're going to have this security room that's going to be in A5. So you're going to have this little offshoot here, A5, A6, and A7. Another comm badge, a force baton. There's going to be a corpse that's been there for a long time as well. Then you have the genetics research lab. That's going to be in A6. Now, the thing about that's pretty neat, is that there's going to be some glass, and it's how the players are going to interact with glass, because it's hard. They call it hard air. And it's just neat, the fact that they might look at glass and it might give their own reflection back, and they may like, oh, you can describe it as another group, but then they realize their emotions are the same as mine, because they may never have seen hard air or glass before, or mirror that's reflecting back on them. So it's just going to be a kind of a neat little little section there where you can have some fun describing this room to them. And then you'll get to the actual genetics research lab. There is some neat things in this as well. There's some boxes that they can open up, these cubes. And they're all the first one's a puppy X107. It's a puppy, and it can teleport around, and it'll randomly teleport around the room. and it imprints on whoever frees it from the box. So it'll stay with that box. It gives you the stats. So if you've got maybe a young player or something, I gave it to a young girl in the game that I ran for free RPG day, and she enjoyed that a lot because now she had a puppy to take care of, and there's a rabbit, and it has the empathy mutation. It'll bond with whoever seems like the biggest, strongest person, and then that person, that character, wants no harm to come to that rabbit. They'll do whatever they can to protect that rabbit. So that's going to be kind of a little bit of a forced thing on one of the players, but they should hopefully have fun with that rabbit. And then you've got some cylinders of the Cortexin cylinders. That's actually kind of the thing that I believe that created the whole mutation of people back in the day. Multi-tool, C-cells, Medipack, some fun stuff to find there. But there's also this gene resequencer there. And this thing, you can get into it, and it can just mess up your character. You might have to roll up a new character. It can turn you into primordial soup. It can do a whole bunch of stuff to you. And it's going to be fun to see them trying to interact with them, your players, as they decide they've got the guts to go in there and see if they mess around with, with the controls, and it may change them. Now, when you get up to, you've got a turbo lift to take you up to level 2. You're going to have a couple of interesting things here. You're going to have this Rube Goldberg machine designed to demonstrate the principles of perpetual motion. And there are these gopher men. Now, they won't immediately attack you. They're kind of working on it. And there is ways to go about it without having to fight them. But it could be like kind of like a last fight type thing with it. And we'll show you that here. As you can see, this level 2 here, as they're dealing with B2, the vibratorium. They're dealing with this machine here, which is very strange. There's a hole where they've dug through, the gopher men. So it's going to be an interesting way to see whether or not you just attack them outright, because they kind of ignore you because they're messing with the machine. But how you interact with them is going to be fun. And then you have this Tetrahedron Moon Anomaly 1. And it's like this little pyramid type thing. And this is really crazy, because as you touch it, you're going to get smarter and smarter. But then there's going to be something that's weird's going to happen. And this, you're going to be, it says the PC further ages and drops. You'll age when you get more intelligence. So you have to deal with that. You're going to be in a coma. You'll be surrounded by a glowing envelope of pure white light. The brightness of the light increases over the next round until the PC can no longer be seen inside. On the third round, the PC emerges from the cocoon of light, transform into a gigantic fetal version of his or her genotype, a star child. The Star Child shows up, and it's now taken over that character. If it's left alone, it'll contemplate its existence for like a round, and then it will extend a hand out, and it will the tetrahedron will cause it to start glowing, and each of the 3 exposed faces fall inward into an infinite corridor of starlight. It'll then fly into the Stargate and begin a journey of exploration across the multiverse. Now, you can fight it, but it is an absolute brute, as it has a plus 20 to its initiative, and it's got 60 hit points. It's got two action dice with 2 D30 action dice, and it's just going to wreck you. So you don't want to do that, obviously. So one thing that's kind of cool about it is it may be a thing where, unfortunately that character's gone, but it could be a TP. It says a TPA, Total Party Ascension, where it says while the entire party may be wiped out, the players can be at least console themselves that their once level 0 characters are now in the equivalent of transcendent gods, freely exploring the planes of existence. So if everybody goes into it, it says if the attacker has the intelligence above 12, the paralyze will place the attacking PC into the same type of coma as TMA1, eventually turning the character into another Star Child. So you can attack it, and it'll just keep kind of changing you into the Star Children that will then explore the multiverse. It's strange. It's very interesting. It says it'll stay open for two turns. Adventure PCs may decide to willingly enter the Stargate and be instantly transported to another location in or outside of Terra AD. It's kind of a thing for you to, again, kind of put the characters someplace else. And it's cool. And that's it. And this is just kind of like a little thing here that helps you with some of the stuff with running MCC RPG. So it's a very good starting adventure. I thought it was good when I ran it. I actually prefer the Overmind adventure more for a starting 0-level character funnel for MCC RPG, but cool map, very helpful. But it's just, it's kind of basic a little bit, but it's got some cool exploration, some neat, fun stuff to do with getting there, realizing that it's a museum. These changelings are, they're stuffed animals and stuff. Having some fun with this 0G experience, maybe getting some cool stuff out of that genetics research lab, messing around with this gene resequencer, which can, of course, it can absolutely wreck you. Interacting with the gopher men, either taking your weapons to them or trying to parlay in with them, and then dealing with getting intelligence, but creating a star child. And then, of course, your characters maybe having a total party ascension into the multiverse. It's just fun. It's a cool adventure. It's very good, and I'm glad that it's available out there for anybody to pick up. But so there it is. There is the museum at the end of time. Thanks.